Hello and welcome to another question and answer. Before we go any further, obviously we need to know that you can see us and you can hear us. I'm not quite sure. Why can't you just drag it onto wrong one? Next one down, Louise. That's the one. There we go. We got it. Is technical problems ready? It's Louise's fault. If looks could kill. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us this Wednesday afternoon, 3:30. Can you all let me know if you can see and hear me in the chat before we go any further? Good morning from Australia. Good morning from Midlothian, Virginia. My good God, Kenmore, Washington. We got everybody from around the world. Maybe a little bit of buffering. We have had an improvement on our what's it called? Broadband, isn't it? Yes. So we hope that is going to be all tickety-boo. Sound and vision fine. Good. All right then. How's your week been, Louise? Everything been all right with you?
Not bad, busy.
Busy?
Yeah,
busy. Good.
busy.
Okay, is that what that is it?
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Okay, whiteboard still in place. You'd be glad to know. We're going to be making use of that today. I'm sure we will. So good morning, good afternoon, Miami. Good afternoon, Tucson. Good afternoon, Cabo San Lucas, Mexico. North side of the city this evening, Fuerteventura. What's it like? Have you been to Fuerteventura?
Yeah.
You have. Is it nice?
Lovely. I went to Handia.
Did you?
It's in the southern part of Fuerteventura, I think. Perhaps Janet can confirm that. But yeah, it's lovely.
Very nice indeed. Lucky thing. Okay. I look forward to going there one day with you. Right, Patricia, yes, the whiteboard. Author, yes, I have approached Matthew. I'm waiting for him to come back on me. He's a bit slow at the moment, not quite sure why, but he's a bit slow. The other thing I just quickly want to say before we go any further.
Oh, can I say something? Can I say a big happy birthday to Annie? I don't know if she's on, but she's had her birthday over the weekend and she's celebrating all week.
All week?
Well, I think you should celebrate all week. I'm not sure if she's on, but happy birthday, Annie.
Happy birthday to Annie. Annie P.
Yeah.
That's the one. All right then. So before I go any further, I do have a little message. There was Matthew has just said, let me look right now, thanks Andrew, be back in 1 minute. So I'm confused because okay, right, author, I'm not quite sure what to do because Matthew's saying it's different. Matthew was saying the 8129 is for a mini mill. So I'm not quite sure. Perhaps if you could possibly email me with a copy of your order, I will certainly have a look at it. I'll do it tonight. Matthew's online. I will get some results from Matthew. The other thing I was going to ask, I have asked Matthew, there was a lady who had a rolling mill that was orange. She said it was Spanish. Did we know anything about it? What make is it and so forth? So we think that brand is called a Tatum, T-A-T-U-M, a Tatum rolling mill. They sell primarily in Spain, and that's about it. All I know is that they sell in Spain, of course, but not really anywhere else, said Matthew. So Tatum, yeah, Tatum sell in Spain. A ring cutter. All right then, so let's start off with a few questions. Let me put my phone away now in case, well, Matthew may come back to me on author's problem. But yeah, author, yes, andrewberry.co.uk. Thank you for that. It's very good. All right, so welcome to the question and answer for the 8th of July. It is 3:30 and that time is question and answer, but only for a couple more weeks, I think, and we didn't get our form done to ask what day, Monday or a Tuesday, Louise.
Oh dear. It's not a good start, is it, for me?
It's not.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I'll write it down on my pad.
So Louise is starting with us full time. Hasn't made a good start yet. Not impressing the boss at all. No, that's not mine. I will check in my order. Thank you, Orva. My birthday was yesterday. So Mirette, happy birthday for yesterday. Way, woo, happy birthday.
To you.
Carry on.
You can't, you join in.
You're on your own. That's it. Okay, so we are going to start with our question and answer session. As I said, it's Wednesday, 8th of July. Louise, do we have a question? First of all, please, far away. What is the question?
Okay, Sandy is asking, what is the best way to attach a bail onto a step bezel setting? I have a step bezel with an uneven design on the base part of the step and a smooth edge to burnish over. Okay,
so if you're going to put a whiteboard straight away on this one. Okay, here we go. So side view, okay? This makes life so much easier. There's like, if I draw that, yeah, so that's how your back plate, like this, how's that? Like that, okay? Can you see that? Let me zoom in a bit closer. All right, that's like a side view of your bezel, yeah? And in your stone then will sit side view like that there. I presume that's what you've got. You may not have a backing plate, you may, it doesn't matter, whichever way you want to. But that's like a cross section through that's your stepped bearing wire. So the best way, this is the side view, you're going to be putting on a bail. So let's call it a little rabbit's bail. It should be rabbit's ears bail. So I would solder it back here. So perhaps I would solder it like that. Does that make sense? So the bail is sort of flush with the back here, and now you've got plenty of room by here to get your burnisher in here to burnish over onto the stone. Does that make sense? That would be the best way, because if you went ahead and you put the bail sort of by here, yeah, this way, it is so close to where you've got to burnish over. It just really isn't going to work. And then you've got this bit of wasted space down here. So what I would do is do that. It's a bail. You would have, the bail would be like that. And I would put it at an angle that way. So you've got a nice flat back here. And then you can burnish over your metal with your burnisher here. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, there we go. That was nice and easy. So that's how I would do that particular type of problem. Next question, please, Louise, if you may.
Okay, Ashley is using Eco Silver in jewellery, but can source Eco Chain for pendants. I think you mean can't source. Any ideas or alternatives that would fit with being eco-friendly?
We had this question from Jodie, didn't we, from Hibiscus Days a few weeks ago. She recycles her silver and makes sort of recycled and eco-friendly jewellery from her recycled silver. But as far as I'm aware of, you can't get eco or recycled chain as far as I'm aware of. So you're really stuck with that. Or you just get the client to supply their own chains to go with the pendants that you've got. So as far as I'm aware of, I don't know of anybody who supplies eco-friendly, that's like recycled silver, unfortunately. So I'm afraid I cannot help you with that. But if there's somebody who knows that where we can get some eco-friendly chains, perhaps we can have a look at that, Louise. Do you mind just making a note on like eco-friendly chains, recycled silver chains? See if you can find someone who does that. Get a pen that works. It's a shoddy place, this, isn't it? There we go. Okay, thank you. So, yep, we will certainly find out for you and let you know. Okay, a quick one. Mark, yeah, Bully and Bully, do a lesson on a box clasp. We've done a box clasp on At the Bench already, so that is not something that I will do again. We have been asked to do a fold over clasp, so I will do a fold over clasp. It's a little bit too detailed to put on YouTube, but we have done a nice box clasp on At the Bench, albeit I think it's about 10 mil wide, but you can reduce that down a little bit smaller. Question please, Louise.
Okay, Jane is asking, just purchased the new concept saw with lever, but keep breaking saw blades. I almost never break blades with my old Valorb.
Valorb, yes.
Can't work out what I'm doing wrong. Any advice?
It sounds like you're putting too much tension on the blade. I have my new concept saw here. I got my simple bog standard saw here as well. Let's put it onto this camera by here. So let's grab a blade, shall we? And then let me just show you the way I would do it. Let's grab a simple blade for this. 3-stroke O, 3-stroke naught, however you want to say it. I use Valorb Super Pikes. So what I would simply do, as I say, you don't have to even come along and push these into your chest. I would simply put these into your frame as they are. So let me put on the overhead camera. There we go, that's better. So yeah, decide on which way your blade is looking, unscrew, put it in, it'll hold quite nicely. Come along to this end, put it in, screw it in that way. All right, so you have it quite loose. So have it loose and then turn the lever. Okay, and have a look, and it's still loose, okay? So use the nut on the ends. Let me see if I can zoom in that camera as well. Yes, I can. There we go, cool. Tighten up this nut a little bit, fold the lever back over, have a look. Nearly there. Put the lever back, okay? Tighten it perhaps a quarter of a turn, pull the lever back over, try again. Nearly there. Push the lever back, do it another quarter of a turn and bring the lever over, and now thank you, a nice little tune. You can go a little bit tighter if you wanted to and try it again. Much better. So now a braid happens to break, you push the lever back, okay, you unscrew, take your broken blade out, get your brand new one in, put it in all the way until it goes in until it stops. He says, turn the lever, turn the knob, okay, open this end up, put that in as far as it goes, and when you turn the lever, the cam lever, you come along and it'll be the same tension every single time, but you always make sure that the blade goes in the hole until it stops. And if you do that, you can be sure that whenever the blades go in, there'll be the same tension every single time. So don't put them into the holes here and turn the nut until it's tight and then turn the lever. Put them in, or unscrew the end first, put them into place, okay, pull over the lever and keep trying until you get that nice sweet sound. Okay, you can go a bit tighter than that. But obviously, if these are 3-stroke O blades, and if you use a finer blade, you can't put as much tension on it because you're going to snap it. If you use a thicker blade, well then yes, you can put a lot more tension on it because it's a lot stronger blade. But 3-stroke O, my blade does this. Oh, let's go tighter. That's better.
What's that? Is that name?
Hello. Whatever that would be. So that's the sort of ideal, and then, yeah, so every time then the blade breaks, blade breaks, not a braid breaks, it goes back in exactly the same position every single time, tighten it up, turn that over, and you'll have the same tension every single time, and it will not break. There we go. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay, Janet's got a little bit of a problem. I have arthritic, swollen fingers, and my 18-carat ring is stuck. Can I use my own jeweller's saw to remove? I have tried other methods, ice, dental floss, etc.
Yes, you can. Louise, can I borrow you?
Yes, you can. Do I need to come over there?
You do, yes.
My trick?
Your trick? Yeah, we're not going to bother with that.
Okay.
We're going to, because the question involved a jeweller's saw.
Oh, no. I'm not comfortable with this.
Can you? Right then, so what I would suggest, you have your saw, all right? The teeth are normally on the outside, so you get your blade and you turn it so the teeth are on the inside. All right, so I'm just going to do this. I'm going to pretend the teeth now are on the inside of the saw frame. Does that make sense? Open this up. I want this open up. Dum-ba-dum-ba-dum. Where's the teeth now? Yeah. Okay, so the teeth now are on the inside. What you do, get your hand this way.
Which hand?
Whichever one you want. You get the blade, you would thread the blade. Oh, sorry, Louise, that hurt. Obviously, you're not injuring the person. You put your blade underneath.
No, steady on now.
You just can't get the staff, can you? Right, let's try again, shall we?
Oh.
Do what you just did then. Right, you put the blade and keep off the blade.
Do you want to try this one? It's thinner.
Go on then. That's where didn't. All right then. So I'll tell you what. Let's go this way, shall we?
Oh, stop yanking me around.
So you get the blade underneath. Okay, blade is underneath the ring, like that. Okay, it's underneath the ring. Then you fasten the blade together. Now, you cannot tension the blade this way, unfortunately, so you're just going to be very, very careful. Because now the teeth are on the inside, and as you then go back and forth, hand up.
You saw the skin nicely then,
Yeah,
don't you?
and then as you do this, then, okay, you would then saw up and cut through the ring. It's as simple as that. Thank you. Is your finger all right? Nice, stabbed it. So then as you move the saw, you're sawing upwards, and because the teeth are on the inside of the frame, you then are going to be cutting through the ring nicely. And I think that is going to be the best way that you're going to get your ring off. Or the other way to do it that I always recommend is when you're in bed and you wake up in the morning, stay lying down in bed. Okay, so you're lying down like this, and you wake up. Okay, then what you do, get your hand with the ring on. The ring on that hand, yeah, and put it up in the air like this. So I'm lying down, okay, like this, and you put your hand in the air, okay, and you stay there for about 5 minutes with your hand above your head. Not this way, as Louise thought I meant it the other day, but this way. You're lying down and your hand's above your head. 5 minutes, all the blood will drain out of your arm.
It might be pouring out of my arm after that.
All the blood will come out of your hand and your fingers. Your fingers will go a bit smaller and you may be able to pull the ring off then. But that only works first thing in the morning when your blood pressure is low and all the blood is, I suppose, elsewhere. So you're lying down in bed like this, arm up in the air, 5 minutes, and see if it comes off then. If it doesn't, get the saw blade, blade on the inside of the frame, blade under the ring, and as you saw, you're pulling up and it should pull through. All right. Right, next question then, please.
Okay, where were we?
Oh, hang on. So George, why don't you use your own hand since you want us to do it? Yeah. Okay. Exactly the same way. You can do it exactly the same way. Just this bit, just it's a little bit more awkward. Okay. Go on then. All right. So get the ring and get the blade.
That's what Janet's going to have to do. I think it's awkward for you.
Okay, get the blade. It's just a little bit more awkward for me. It's easier. Right, get the blade under your hand, under your ring like that. Then you can fasten the blade in the frame like that. Okay, teeth are on the inside. There you go.
Find a willing accomplice.
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people, even like a passerby. So get it in there like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's like that. Okay, and then as you saw, the blade's on the inside. As you saw, like this, you're actually pulling up. And as you saw this way, it'll cut through the ring. Obviously, you're going to do bigger strokes, and it'll cut through the ring. Done it all by myself.
Well done.
Thank you.
True inspiration.
Next question, please, Louise.
Okay, Tanya is asking, how often do you change your pickle, and what sort of hinge would I make on a hooped pair of silver earrings, please?
Okay, so the pickle I really sort of keep until it just loses its efficiency. There's no real way of saying, okay, after 2 months change it, after a week change it, and so forth. Because it really does depend on how often you quench your metal in it. And also if you're quenching copper, you may find it'll become saturated with copper sulfate a lot quicker than if you were using silver, or if you were using gold. So there's no set time. What you got to look at is if you're doing silver and you quench it in the safety pickle, take it out. If it starts to have a bit of a copper tinge to it, well then you know then it's on its way out and there's too much copper saturated in the solution, then you dispose of it. Or if when you put it into the pickle it's not the piece isn't sort of that bright white when it comes out, and then that then is going to be the telltale sign that the pickle needs changing. What sort of a knuckle on a hinged earring? Two questions in one here. Not quite sure. So what I would have is I gotta think of this. I would have, oh my gosh, how can I just, the brain's gone on this one. You would have 3 knuckles. So you'd have with the earring that does that, that'd be one view of the earring, and then the other earring, then you'd have that view. Okay, so the hoop would come round like that there. Okay, so that's like the, that's part of your hooped earring. Here you'd have your little cutout by here. Is like that there. So that's your little cutout in there. And on this side then you'd have your little bit of metal coming out that would be that shape, just like that. And then yes, you've got this other bit coming around here like that. So this then is the three basically knuckles, 3 knuckles. You've got 1, 2, 3. Then you put a pin through here, you put that into there, drill a hole all the way through, and then you'd rivet. What you may have to do is cut a little bit of a radius on the outsides like that to allow for the hinge to move around. But that is then how you would do a, let's see if I can zoom in on that for you. Okay, so I hope that makes that a bit clearer than what I was trying to explain. So that would be the best way to do that. So this is the inside, this is the tongue that goes in, and it'd be just like that. And then you drill and you put a rivet through, that then would go right into there, like that. There, and you put the rivet through, and you rivet on both ends, just like that. And that's the best way to do that. Next question, please, Louise. There are investment powders for specific, what's the word? Say you want to do stone in wax casting. So you're casting stones already in wax. There's a special type of investment powder to use for that. I'm not quite sure what the properties of these investment powders are. I can't remember what I use. I think I use Kerr. No, that's wax. I can't remember off the top of my head. Bear with me a second. Let me just quickly go and have a quickie look, see what mine says. What have I got? It is Kerr. I was right. I was right.
My mic's gone, apparently.
Is it your mic? No, your mic's, no, it's still on. How about that? But now, you should be able to hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
You should be able to. Right, so yes, so Kerr is the brand that we use here. Kerr is investment, just a general purpose investment powder that is going to be ideal. And you can use normal thinnish sort of castings and quite heavy castings with it as well. So I don't really think it makes an awful lot of difference. It just depends on what you want. With me, I just simply buy them in 1 kilogram containers at a time. There's not much point in me buying a huge, massive bag of it because I just don't use that much and it's gonna go off. So I just ask the suppliers for 1 kilo at a time and I get the little tubs. It's a bit more expensive that way, but it means I've only got as much as what I need. I only cast perhaps once every month, perhaps once every 2 months. So to buy a huge bag would be not much point. I just basically get what my supplier has, what my supplier can supply me in little 1 kilo units. Okay, what question? Oh, I didn't have you on for what question, was it? That's what it was. Oh, sorry. Do you want me to do the question again, please?
I've just put it in the chat. Is there a big difference between investment plasters, and if so, can you recommend one?
Okay, cool. So I hope that makes a lot of sense. Yep, that's fine. Excellent. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Neil, for the bubbly as well. Went down well.
Oh, yeah,
That was nice.
Thank you
That was
very
real.
much.
Thank you so much indeed for that. That was really good, wasn't it? We sat in the summer house when we had that, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
We did. That was the day that you handed in your resignation.
Yeah, I was shaking. So that went down really, really well, thank you.
So next question, please, Louise.
Okay, David is asking, is it better to barrel a bracelet before polishing or after, or both?
A barrel polisher, if you've got access to both, great. I think what you need to do is you obviously have to finish the bracelet to a certain degree before you barrel and before you polish. There's not much point putting a bracelet or anything in a barrel polish that has scratches on. So say you've got a file or some really coarse emery paper, and you can still see the scratches, you still see the lines from the file or the emery paper on it. A barrel polisher is never going to do it. A barrel polisher just simply burnishes the surface. So if there's little undulations, all it's going to do is burnish those undulations. It's never going to get rid of them. So perhaps what I would do is clean it to a really good standard first of all with some emery papers, some nice fine emery papers, then put it in the barrel polish, so perhaps something like a pre-polish. Perhaps you can not necessarily get some fine soap. Perhaps you may get some grit, some very, very fine grit that will help to produce a nice finish. Then I would always finish it then on the polishing mops and do it all by hand, because I feel that polishing by hand on a polishing machine gives a far better, superior finish than a barrel polisher. If anything goes in the barrel polisher with us, which is very rare, I would then always put it onto a polishing motor at the end, because I think that gets a far better finish than simply a barrel polisher. So in answer to your question, finish the bracelet really well first of all, barrel polish it, and then put it onto the rouge mops on your bench mounted polishing motor to get a fantastic type of finish. Next question please, Louise.
Okay, Janet is thinking of this winter's learning project. Delft casting or lost wax? Any tips, i.e. which produces best results or costs involved? I have limited space in my garden craft shed.
So the best results comes from lost wax casting. The problem with lost wax casting is that it costs a heck of a lot of money. I set my sights on lost wax casting and I wanted to do lost wax casting, but what I did was I looked out for second-hand equipment. And it took me about 3 years to get all the equipment that I needed to do my lost wax casting. So what I did, I made myself a list and I just simply went on eBay, and I went to Sutton Tools at the time in Birmingham, and I told them what I wanted, because people are always in the know about equipment being sold and so forth. And I started to buy my equipment bit by bit. It didn't matter whether I bought the casting type of equipment, the centrifugal caster, before I had the wax injection or the burnout kiln. It didn't matter. I just set my goals on, in 3 years time, that's what I want to do, or 4 years time, and I just went out and bought the equipment as I wanted. But it was expensive. The centrifugal caster, I think it was second hand, that was about £200, something like that, a really good one, a Nacraft. Then I had the kiln. I had a kiln from Kernocraft with a timer, that's my burnout kiln. I had a wax injector, I had a vulcanizer. So all this cost a lot of money. So I would not go down that route. But if you want to do lost wax casting, make a list, look out for the equipment. I would definitely start with sand casting, Delft clay casting, definitely. Have a play around, get some cuttlefish, get some Delft clay. Cuttlefish is really, really cheap. You can go on eBay and buy some cuttlefish bones really, really easy. I got a box of about 30 down there that I picked up, really, really reasonable. Or if you're on the beaches, you can look out for cuttlefish on the beaches as well. You can use that. Sand casting, I would always use Delft clay, and I'm sorry if there's anybody out there who doesn't believe in Delft clay or who uses anything different. I find that Delft clay, for me, is the best type of sand you can get. It's a lot finer. It's absolutely brilliant type of sand. There's other types of sand out there, Petrobond and so forth, but I find they are just that little bit too coarse, and you got to really hammer the sand down really, really hard. But I still find there's a bit of a texture that I don't like. But I find Delft clay is the best. I've actually got a Delft clay course coming out along with all my other courses, soldering and piercing and sand casting and cuttlefish casting. That's going to be in about 3 or 4 months time though, and that's going to be a standalone sand casting course. Alternatively, you can always join at the bench, as you can see down here at the bench, and we've got plenty of sand casting tutorials on there. Or if you just want to have a bit of a dabble and have a quick look, we've also got some films on YouTube that show some sand casting. But definitely do sand casting. If you want to do lost wax casting, be prepared to spend a couple of £1,000s, but have it on your wish list and start buying equipment as and whenever. But you do need a lot of space for Delft clay, sorry, for lost wax casting. There we go. Okay. Next question then, please, Louise.
Okay, Amanda is asking why sometimes when soldering links in a chain, does my solder just ball up and doesn't melt even after a lot of heating?
So what sometimes happens is that perhaps the joint isn't clean. Perhaps there's some fire scale, there's some oxides, there's some grease, there's some oil on the surface. Make sure all that is off. You can do that by using some emery paper or a file, or heat it up and quench it in the acid until it goes tss, and then you know it's going to be nice and clean. There's no oxides, there's no grease or anything on the surface. Make sure the joints come together nice and perfect as well to make sure they're nice and tight, and then put the solder on the top. So what you want to do is don't heat the solder. And that sounds really, really weird, making use of my board today. So let's just quickly show you on here. Okay, so we have a link. Here's my link coming round. Here's my link here, all right? So this is my join right by there. You flux the area, yeah, you put flux all over it. It's a nice tight fitting join, nice and tight, like that. What you can do, you can get your solder, okay? Put your pallion of solder on the top, all right? So that's my pallion of solder on the top of my joint. Make sure that it is straddling both sides, okay? Then you get your flame, all right? So here's my flame from my torch. Don't put the flame directly on the solder, because what is gonna happen is that that bit of solder is gonna melt before the link has heated up and had chance to become the right temperature, because that solder will melt, no worries. It won't melt onto this metal because this metal has to be the same temperature as the solder before the solder will melt and flow into the molecules of that metal. So don't heat up the solder. Get the flame and play the flame back and forth, okay? On the link, back and forth on the link here, on these, and make sure that both sides get an even amount of heat. Then as soon as this metal, the link, is the correct temperature for the solder here to flow, the solder will flow through the joint. So I know it's very hard to try and keep the flame off the little pallion, the little bit of solder that's on it, but try and do it. Heat the link, and it is the metal here that gets to the temperature that then goes to the actual piece of solder. Then the solder then will melt and it will flow into the joint, because these pieces, or this side and that side, are the same temperature, and the solder will flow. If the solder tends to flow to one side of the link, bring the flame back over to the other side and make sure that the other side is up to temperature, because if those two sides are the right temperature, the solder will flow all the way through. So no flame on the solder, flame on the metal, and then the metal will pull the solder once it has melted into the joint. There we go. That's about it. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay, Julia is asking, have you ever used soldering clay to support pieces being soldered? Saw it on a YouTube video being used with Argentium. Thought it looked useful. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Thought it looked useful, but can't find anything like it.
What's happening with my camera? Is it straight-ish? Okay, so I have had. Where's my bench? What's my bench? Oh, we can see this part here. Sorry. Thought my camera wasn't straight. I'm actually choking today. I'm okay. We will fight through it, dead or alive. I haven't used soldering clay. I've had some from, I think it was Kate Wolf, who does the wax, and I had some sent to me from America. It is good because you can mold it into a particular shape to support a piece. Absolutely brilliant for doing that. I think, yes, it would dry out. I would assume, because the flame is on it. And I think that would be the only thing. And I think then you've got to throw it away. But as far as I'm aware of, but I've never used it. But it is good, especially if you're doing complex parts and complex pieces. If you're trying to put, perhaps say you've got claws and you can hold those claws together, you can put them in the clay and then arrange them then into the correct sort of shape, the correct setting, push the clay around it so it holds it all together. And it's brilliant, brilliant idea. An idea for that sort of application, but I've never used it. For me, it would have quite a limited use. But if you're doing complex pieces with lots of pieces of wire and they've all got to be soldered in one go, well then yes, the clay is absolutely a brilliant idea. Next question then, please, Louise. Flying through them today.
Yeah, Sandy is asking, I watched the video hint on making a boogie stick. You use beeswax instead of Baby Bell cheese wax. What's the difference?
I just wanted to make another film. Boogie stick. Boogie. That's in a boogie stick, yeah?
Oh, I thought like a dance.
No, boogie.
It's a booger. It's not a boogie, it's a booger.
It's a booger. You call it boogers, I call them boogies.
Bogies?
But a bogey stick, is it? All right. Why? Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. So in the past, a traditional bogey stick, dopping stick, traditionally it is made out of beeswax with charcoal. Traditionally, but not everybody has, you know, beeswax on their bench. I suppose not everybody has a Baby Bell either, but it's a way of using up the little wax from a Baby Bell. And I suppose you could use that and put that with some charcoal, because I find the Baby Bell wax really does tend to be quite sticky, especially if it gets a little bit on the warm side. So why do I use beeswax? Because that's the proper way of making it. The Baby Bell was a bit of a cheats way. If you've got some Baby Bell, get some charcoal dust, mix it up with the Baby Bell, and it won't be as sticky. That's a great alternative way of doing it.
What's a booger stick for?
I don't know where it is now. Let's have a look.
And why is it so called?
There it is. That's the one I made. Have I got the other one here? No. So there it is. Here we go. Sorry, I'm having problems today. I'm pushing all the wrong buttons. All right, so let me start again. If you have tweezers and you pick up a stone in your tweezers, there's a chance that your tweezers are going to make the stone fling everywhere. All right, and that's no good because you're going to lose your stone. So the idea is with your booger stick, as Louise likes to call it, your booger stick, you get the booger stick and you just tap it on top of the stone, and because it's slightly tacky, it'll just pick up the stone on this little bit of beeswax. Then you can put it in position in the setting. Not quite right, and then get your wax, you tap it up on the top of the stone, and then you put it back on your bench, and you carry on working, and then you can pick up. It's just an easy way, a safe way of picking up a stone by using your bit of wax, as opposed to using your tweezers, because you know what it's like. You pick up like a stone in your tweezers like that, and it's not quite right in your tweezers, and as you're squeezing it, the stone will flick off somewhere. There's no chance your stone flicking off because you've got your booger stick.
Good.
Thank you. Next question, please, Louise.
Okay. Birthdays. Okay, Romy would like to know where you got your stand for pliers on your workbench, please.
Okay, Romy, this here is a little, like a simple little plastic stand, as you can see. We're here in the UK, and I got that from Cousins UK. C-O-U-S-I-N-S, Cousins UK, I think it is, and it is about, I don't know, £6, something like that. It's absolutely brilliant because this is a new bench for me, and I don't have that nice semicircle bit that goes around where I can put my pliers on the tin. This is a different bench now. It's a lot shallower, and it has the little drawers that you pull out. And unfortunately, I can't store my pliers down here, so my pliers have to go on there. So Cousins UK, perhaps you can look that up and copy and paste and pop it into the chat. Cousins UK?
Z or an S?
S. There we go, cousinsuk.com.
Is that him?
That is it. So that is the company where I get it from. I'm sure they ship it around the world. It's only plastic, and it's absolutely cheap as chips. Oh, there we go. Kunocraft Selataki Setters Boogie Stick. There we go. Thank you, Andrew, for that. Or make yourself your own from a baby bell. It's good. I love baby bells. Do you like baby bells?
Oh, I can't see the bit of cheese now, actually.
I just love cheese myself.
Could eat cheese all day, pounds of cheese.
Next question.
Okay. Gillian. Oh! Where's Gillian's Druzy video, Mr. Berry?
Right, I have been thinking about this. I have several different ways of doing this, but I'm not going to tell you. You have to wait. It's in my head. It's going to be starting. In fact, I will start it tomorrow.
Really?
Yes, because the problem is it is so high. That is the problem, because the Druzy stones are really, really deep. And that's the problem. If they were shallower, it'd be a lot easier. And also because the sides are pretty straight, you can't really burnish the metal over successfully because of the height. So I've got another way that I'm going to do it. There's a slightly different way that I'm going to do it. A little type of setting that a lady by the name of Ginger Meek Allen does with her stones. That's slightly different, that does not involve having to burnish all the way around, and that's what I'm going to do a little bit later on, but we're going to do a ring using that technique. Gillian's, actually Jodie's Druzy, but for Gillian. Next question, please.
Okay, this is Gillian's question now.
Sorry.
Yeah. I have a bangle to repair, has a ball on one end and a loop on the other, constant stress on the bangle to open and close. It's split at one side and the bangle is very misshapen. Ideas to repair, please.
You'd have, sorry. I think I understand. There's a ball at one end and there's a loop at the other end.
Yeah, the constant stress on the bangle to open and close.
So it's going to be
Split at one side
there's
and it's misshapen.
there's the ball and the bangle comes round like that. Yep, so that's like that, and then it goes whoop, like that. Like that. So then that ball goes through that hole. Yep, that's the sort of thing I think you mean. Like that. Yep. So this is a solid, and that's the hole that goes round. Yep, so that ball then fits through here. Yes, the problem is it has a lot of stress on the whole bangle here. Well, it doesn't matter where it's cracked. Say it's cracked across here. If you come to solder it and you solder it back down here and localize the heat down here, this little area down here is going to be annealed, but the rest of it is going to be hard, which would mean that then obviously as the bangle is worn, what you're going to find is the bangle is going to bend more so down here and it's going to become completely misshapen. So what I would be inclined to do, no matter where the split is in that bangle, if it's split across here, what I would do is anneal and heat up the whole piece, if it's possible, so you have the whole bangle that is nicely annealed. That is going to be the best way to keep that. And it was misshapen. Just try and use something like a very strange thing, like a baseball bat. Not everybody has access to a baseball bat, do they?
Do you have one?
I don't know, you're right. No, but I do have bangle mandrels that I would get a bangle mandrel and I would put it around and I would hammer that. So anything that you can find that you can put in these areas here that you can tap the bangle round on would be ideal. Even if you just used, I don't have it up here, but even if you just used a bangle mandrel and it was a small round one, you can still put the mandrel in here and hammer it and put the bangle mandrel in here and hammer that to get these nice curves there. But make sure it is all annealed and make sure you heat it all up, not just your localized heat on the area that you have to solder it. And then you should be good to go. And then yes, it'll all be flexible. And then obviously then as the bangle is moved and so forth, it'll all work hard and it should become nice and springy again. Sorry, next question, please.
Okay. Claire is asking, have you done much chasing and do you think you could use thermoplastic in place of pitch for chasing?
I haven't done much chasing actually. Even
You did Chasing in Repousse, didn't you?
I did.
That was your television debut?
My television debut that one time. Yes, I did a little bit of Chasing in Repousse for a television programme when they came round and wanted to know information about a plate. It was on S4C, the Welsh. I can't speak Welsh, but they spoke English very kindly. Oh, hang on. What was it called?
It was called Trisori Taily, wasn't it? Family Treasures.
That's very good.
Yeah. We had a little party, didn't we? We had snacks and Prosecco and people came over and then you were on telly for about 30 seconds.
They were with me all day. They came up into the studio. I couldn't have any advertising on. They didn't want my lights. They didn't want my this, that. I had to empty the room completely to bring their stuff in. Two guys, cameraman and, can't remember the guy's name, Chris, can't remember his name now, Jeff. Whatever his name, can't remember. Yeah, they spent all day going through it, the same bit over and over again. I'll put your hand by here. Right, okay, now move your hand back. And we did it all for a whole day. And I thought, this is going to be awesome. So we had a party, didn't we? We had friends round. Andrew's going to be on television. Hey, it's all going to be in Welsh. We won't understand a word.
On Facebook, we've got like a community village group, told everybody, 7,000 people, Andrew Berry's going to be on the telly.
Yeah!
Told the world.
And then it was like a 45-minute programme. We got to like the 38th minute and I hadn't even been on. I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be so embarrassing if it doesn't come on. It's going to be so embarrassing. And then right at the end, then they came on. They showed the guy coming into the shop. We'll have to try and post it somewhere, won't we? We'll have to post it on the... Thank you very much. We'll have to post it on the At The Bench Facebook group, so keep an eye out for that. We'll post it on there. You can go and watch my 4 minutes of fame. The guy came into the shop, he came out, we had a chat, and I showed him, what was the question? Have I done any repousse? Yeah. So then I showed him then how a particular area of this plate was made by using chasing and repousse. I think you do need pitch. You can't have anything else because the pitch is made with brick dust and what is it? Can't remember what it's called. Is it pitch? I don't know. It is pitch, but there is it's brick dust. But you do need pitch. A thermolock is not going to be substantial enough. I think you won't have the mass, the huge area of it, and I don't think it gives. The pitch gives. There's a slight give in it, but I don't think the thermolock or jet set doesn't have that that flex, unfortunately. So no, you won't be able to use thermolock or jet set. It has to be pitch. Pine pitch, the pine resin with brick dust, I think it is. And you can get all different types of pitch. All right, enough of that. So I have done some. No, you can't use thermolock. Next question.
Okay, Steve is asking, how should I solder a 30 by 40 mil bezel to a 3/4 inch wide by 0.7 mil cuff?
Right, okay. Ooh, chucking it around. All right, so what I would do is, here is the bezel. Yep, this is what I mean about the bezel. And the bezel obviously has a flat bottom like that. Let's zoom in a bit for this. Yep. And your cuff, I can't remember the dimensions, but let me just quickly just draw this to give you some indication of what this is going to look like. So that's the cuff that is going to be, this is going to be soldered onto. The problem is, if you look at the side view, you've got the curvature of the cuff and you have a bezel that's like that. So that is never going to work. What you're going to have to do is file the bottom of that to match the same curvature as the cuff. So yes, you're going to have to do that and do the bottom of the like that, yeah. So the bezel is going to be that shape to fit over onto the cuff. That is going to be the best way of doing it. Never think of doing it straight and the bezel on top of there, then try and bend it round, because it's going to knacker up the bezel. Bezel's going to be ruined. So that's the best way. Then what I'd be inclined to do would be to heat from underneath here. you can stand it on these parts, or you can suspend it. Put the bezel on the bangle itself. Let me just put this down here. So that's your bezel now on top of the cuff. Actually it runs, look that way, isn't it? I can't even draw these days. I think it looks something like that. And then what I would do is flux the whole area around here. Put your little chips inside the, so you're looking down on top. Here's the cuff here. You put the chips on the inside like that. Heat from underneath, and as you heat from underneath, then the bangle here will get to the right temperature. And providing you've got this gorgeous joint from when this bezel sits on top of here, the solder will melt and it'll just melt all the way around. But you've got to heat from the inside because that's going to be the best way. If you put the heater from the outside here, there's a chance that this bezel is going to melt because it is a lot thinner and smaller than the huge mass of this bangle. And that's what I was trying to work out with the soldering the link. This is going to melt. So if you put the flame from underneath, there's no chance of this bezel melting because the flame is going to be coming up from underneath. This won't melt, and as soon as the bangle gets to the right temperature, the heat will be transferred onto the bezel, and because of that, these will be both the same temperature, and the solder then will flow around the joint. There we go. It's flying by today, isn't it? This is flying by. So there we go. Next question, please.
Okay, Bully on Bully is asking, would you do a lesson on a box clasp, like 7 to 10 mil bracelet or necklace box clasp?
I quickly answered that a little bit earlier. Oh, sorry. I did. No. I have done it on At The Bench, as I was saying. I made one on At The Bench. It's about a 10 mil. You can reduce the dimensions for that. I don't think I would do it for YouTube. It would just take far too long to try and explain what to do. But if you're a member of At The Bench, or if you want to join At The Bench, atthebench.com. Here you can join for £20 for a month. Take a look at all the courses on there, and they are yours to have a look at and watch. Next question then, please, Louise.
Okay, Valerie is asking, can you recommend a jewellery sized tap and die kit?
Go on to Cousins UK, they sell them. Or you can go onto eBay and look for small. And I think the ones you can buy are really cheap, really cheap. They're like, I think they're imported from I don't know, Far East, India, something like that, I'm not quite sure. But there's a little tap and die set that our cousins sell. I can't recommend a particular brand. You can buy really expensive ones that they use for watchmaking, but they're just far too expensive. But you can buy nice cheap ones. I think I got mine from eBay. It comes in a little plastic yellow wallet with little taps and dies. You can do, hi Louise. You can do about a 1.5 millimeter to about 2.5 millimeter wire. The best thing to do. But yeah, look on eBay, tap and die, small tap and die. They are very cheap, £5, £6 for a set. That's the best place to get them from. Next question.
Okay, Victoria is asking, I'm having issues when I'm soldering a ring around my bezel to give it a lovely thick base. I'm trying to solder the ring around after soldering the bezel to the back plate. I tend to get gaps.
Okay, you really have to make sure that the ring that goes around is perfect. If you have it so it's a bit loose, you are going to get gaps. Again, here's the back plate. Here's your bezel that goes up. You've got a bit of a lip, and say that's where the stone's going to go. We've got this bit of a lip. It has to be tight. The ring has to be touching the wall on both, obviously, all the way around. If it's not, it's going to be loose. It can't be so tight a fit that it won't go over, because if you do force it over and heat it up, the joint's going to come undone. So I would always make sure it's a nice, a comfort fit. You know, without the two pieces of metal just touching, just cutting together. Just cutting together, just kissing, just touching, no force in it at all, and it should stay exactly right. Or what you could do is make it the right size. Wouldn't really work. I was going to say make it the right size, solder it onto the the plate and then put the bezel in place, but that's never going to work. You've got to make sure that this is the right, yeah, ignore that. So make sure it's a nice bit of a comfort fit when it goes over the bezel, and I think you should be fine. Yeah, Gillian, pitch is cheap to buy, yes. Okay, next question please, Louise.
Okay, Jules Haynes, best at bench polishing ventilating. Don't have a separate polishing arbor station using flex shaft. How to set up a system that collects the mess while polishing?
Okay, I have something that I can show you and also something that you can make your berries. So you're polishing with a flex shaft, was it?
Looks like, yeah.
Cool, okay. What country would hallmark on the outside of a ring band? Janet, any country should be able, if you have a government approved hallmarking system, they should be able to hallmark wherever you ask them to. Let me just grab something a second. Just talk amongst yourselves a second. Thank you. I have got here, this looks like, sorry, this looks like a I don't know, it's from a company called Hatho. All right, it's a Schutzkappe und Particle Flanger, or protector and particle collector. Yes. And what it does, it's like this. I mean, what should we do? It looks like this. Here we go, an overhead view. So this is what it looks like. It looks really, really weird. So the idea is I got to try and think how this works now, actually. Do you know what? I can't remember how this works. Anyway, you have this. There we go. You hold on to the ring. I got a ring around here somewhere. There we go. So you put your fingers through. So you hold on to the ring inside, underneath that. So when this comes into place, you see, that comes there. So then as you, is that a better picture? There we go, that's a better picture. So your fingers go through the holes. Okay, fingers go through the holes. You have the rest of your hand free. It goes over like this. You can hold the ring then with those fingers. You've got this area to when your flex shaft goes into place like this, and you push the button there. As that spins round, let me just put this, there we go. So as that spins round, it'll actually protect you, because this is stopping the dust coming shooting at your face. But if you're clever, like me, go on a YouTube, search for my YouTube, well, you're actually on YouTube now, but search for on YouTube and search for one of my films years ago. I had less grey hair and less wrinkles, and dare I say it, a bit more handsome all those years ago. And what I did, I had an old Pepsi Cola plastic bottle that I adapted similar to that. And with that, then that actually fits over the shaft, over the handpiece. I think we used a number 30 handpiece for that. And I used a number 30 handpiece because it is nice and even all the way along like that. And that fitted into the bottle. There we go. So that, I got a bottle of water here, so I'm not going to use it. So this is like my Coke, yeah. And what I did, I cut. I need to get my overhead camera on this. So this was my Pepsi Cola. So what I did this, and I cut out that. Okay, so I cut out all this, and all I had was this area going around like that. So this is the shield here. Then what you do is then you put the shaft in where this part is here, and you can look through this area here, and you've still got access underneath to get the piece. So look on look on YouTube, and it's a pendant motor, it's a guard protector, I think I called it, but it's from a long time ago, but it's on there, and that's the best way to keep it, all the polish and everything out of your eyes on a low budget. Or if you want to spend money on this, this is like £9 or £10. I think it's a lot of money, but it's just a way of holding something in your hands, protects your face from the dust. Really important to do.
Michael's got a tip that he shared.
Yes, what is the tip? Yeah.
Here, Michael used a cardboard wine box for 6 bottles, cut out the top and duct taped a plexiglass on top, cut the side so I can get my hands inside. And the best part was drinking the 6 bottles of wine. So you're an inventive bunch, aren't you?
Yes. Yes. Brilliant idea. But that was Mike, was it? Sorry.
Yeah.
Mike, thank you so much for that. Brilliant idea. Have to do a film on that on YouTube, won't we? Perhaps I will not drink the wine before the demonstration. Best not, yes. All right, I think we should have one question more, I think, Louise.
Okay, what investment powder do you use for... Oh no, I've missed one. Sorry, you'll have to answer 2 now. What investment powder do you use for lost wax casting?
Good.
And?
KERR. Yes.
What type of coolant... Name. What brand of coolant do you use?
Coolant?
Coolant.
Coolant? What?
Coolant. What type of coolant name you're using?
I don't know. What coolant am I using? Where do I use my coolant to?
I don't know.
Coolant?
I just forget the question.
I don't know. Coolant?
Hitman, can you give us some more detail on your question, please?
Yeah, cool. I'm not quite sure what you mean by coolant. Coolant. I don't know. Don't know. Where would I use coolant to in this profession? Don't know. Sorry. Another question then, please, Louise.
What's the Kool-Aid? What's that stuff? Matty? Does he mean that?
Don't know. Where's the Andrew, you could change the direction of your pendant motor. Some pendant motors don't have a change of direction, unfortunately. Ford MSRs do. They have a forward and reverse. Brilliant idea. A lot of the others, like a Seco and a Milbro, only have one direction, so then you're stuffed, aren't you, basically? Yes. Let me just see if Matthew's come back to me on... Oh, yes. Author, it was 8219. He's having a look for you. Yes, okay. So Matthew is having a look for you. Yeah, okay. Matthew's having a look and he'll come back to me and I'll email you as soon as I get something back from Matthew. Next question then, please, Louise.
Natalia wants to know what the big announcement's going to be.
We still can't tell you because Louise hasn't had something nice on for us to record.
Oh, thanks.
No, I didn't mean, but you always have. I didn't mean that as that sounded. You always have something nice on. You always have something nice on, but you want to look extra special, don't you?
Not smart enough to be in your film now, all right?
No, Louise, it's obviously to do with filming. And whenever I say, right, Louise, come on, go and do some filming, she goes, oh, I can't with this blouse on. Oh, I haven't done my hair. I haven't done my makeup or whatever. Sorry. So we have to try and get Louise at the opportune moment.
Should have known it would be my fault.
When you've done your hair, got your nice top on, because we got to do some filming for it still. So it's still going to be a while yet, I'm afraid. It's still going to be a while.
Do you nearly gave the game away then?
No, go on.
Do you want another question?
Go on, yeah.
I think we should move swiftly on. Oh, I've lost my place, I think. Okay. Oh, I thought you'd finished, sorry.
Hi Louise, is the shop open for business? Yes.
Yes, I answered that one, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Do you know what you've forgotten?
Oh, have I gone?
You've forgotten, haven't you? What you said last week.
Oh no, what have I forgotten?
No, it doesn't matter, it's fine with me.
What have I forgotten?
You're going to make me answer questions.
Oh, damn.
It's too late now. Time's up.
If anybody has any gemstone questions for Louise to answer, please can we ask them next week? Because, as I keep saying every week, she has passed her AJP in... Very good, well done, Louise, yes. Thank you. And I have as well, but that doesn't warrant an applause. So, AJP, Accredited Jewellery Professional from the GIA. It was on gemstones, on diamonds and jewellery essentials. So any questions that you want answered by Louise, all about gemstones and diamonds, please ask them next week. I can't wait. Next question, please, Louise.
We finished.
No, and then perhaps you can swap places. I can sit over there on the creaky chair, and then you can sit here and you can answer the questions, and I can ask you questions. I think that'd be cool. That'd be really cool, wouldn't it?
I think nobody would watch.
I think everybody would love to watch you. They'd rather watch you. They'd rather watch you than watch me, I think, to be honest, Lou.
That's true. What else? We did that one, didn't we? The polishing, ventilation. Set up a system for the polish. That's where we were, wasn't it?
Temperatures for wax. Hang on a second.
Oh.
Oh no, I don't have them to hand. So do I have my temperatures? I don't have my temperatures to hand. No. Sorry. Yeah.
How do I find the hallmark? Ah, that's a tricky one. Janet, with her problem, her stuck ring.
Yes.
How does she find the hallmark? You can't, can you? If it won't budge.
No. Just have to take potluck. Or you could.
You'd be unlucky, wouldn't you?
Oh my gosh, yeah. The chance of getting it through is like I say, like 1 in 5, 1 in 6. But what you could do is get a pair of tweezers and just put them under the ring, and just move the ring around. Yep, and just move it until your tweezers just. Oh, and you go. Oh, there we go. That's a bit of a rough bit. That is where the hallmark's going to be, because the tweezers have gone inside the hallmark. Then turn the ring 180 degrees, then you can cut through on the opposite side to where you just felt that little bit of a mark. There we go. How about that? Cool. Is that it then? Do we have... okay, so slow cooker. This is a very quick one there. Slow cooker, if you've let it dry out, I think it's going to be damaged. Slow cookers are really, really cheap. Or get yourself... a baby bottle warmer. Pick them up second hand on eBay for £8, far cheaper than a slow cooker. Little baby bottle warmer, it looks something like this. This is an expensive pickle pot, that's like over £100. Extortionate prices. Baby bottle warmer, put your safety pickle in, really, really cheap. Andrew, your mic was off, didn't hear the question.
Yeah, that was ages ago.
Okay. So is that it then, Louise?
Yeah, but we have had some inquiries about the courses.
Yeah.
And where will the members sit with that, at the bench members?
Okay, so it's still work in progress at the moment. The courses that we're going to be producing are going to be sort of separate to at the bench. So people who want to come and want to learn how to pierce, want to learn how to solder, want to learn how to do sand casting, delft clay casting, cuttlefish casting, flush setting, bead setting, bezel setting, claw setting. For instance, you can buy the courses just for those individual techniques, okay? You don't have to be a member of At the Bench. They're going to be standalone courses. All that content is going to be unique to that. So we're doing all brand new content just for the courses. So we're not recycling anything from At the Bench. It's all brand new, and you'll know that because it'll have this background that we're using today. So if you're a member of At the Bench, everything that is in those courses is already on At the Bench. In a different format, in a different look, but the techniques and all the videos and everything is going to be the same as what you've got already on At the Bench. So in theory, there is no need to buy those courses because all the information that is contained in those courses is already on At the Bench. But if you wish to buy those courses, there will be a discount. And I think it may be 50% discount off the courses because you're a member of At the Bench already, but it is completely different to the videos that you've got already on At the Bench. So that, I think, is the best way that I can talk about it. And then obviously if you're doing the courses and you love the courses, well then there will be a discount then to At the Bench as well. So they sort of cross over that way. I can see that people who want to do the courses will then want to join At the Bench because what's your little phrase that you use? Let them breadth or something? Oh,
yeah. So the courses are more for beginners. Day zero, that's where they're going to start. So if you know literally nothing and you want a starting point, you can kind of collect the tools and equipment over time as the courses develop and build up a repertoire of skills and equipment. So that's not to say it's not for people who have experience, but you just might find you have to work through a little bit of things that you already know. Exactly. I suppose, to be completely honest. But the courses, what I would really say, would give you a breadth of knowledge, but then At the Bench then gives you the depth. So once you've done the courses, because if you were a completely new person, navigating the vast amount of videos on At the Bench would be
Yeah,
really, it'd be impossible, wouldn't it? Because you don't know what the techniques are, you don't know what. So yeah, it gives you the underpinning knowledge and the breadth.
Yes.
Sounded very educational then.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, and then the depth of knowledge comes with the videos then on the bench. So yeah, complete package.
Yeah, so that's basically what we're going to be doing. Someone's recommended to use the string and cotton technique for removing a very tight ring. Some people have said don't do it, it is very dangerous. I know some nurses have come into the shop and they said don't use that technique because it's very, very dangerous because it does something to the circulation of the finger, it cuts off the circulation.
What is it? I just assumed it was, I'm not going to say it because it gives people the idea.
What, like you pull teeth out?
No, why did you say this?
You know, the old-fashioned, you got a bit of a loose tooth, you tie a string onto the door handle and then you yank. No, it's where you have a very, very tight ring. You then wrap a string on your finger here, past the spare bit underneath. And
Tell them how to do it.
It's on YouTube, and people say they can remove it, but I think the constriction on the finger is very dangerous.
I'm not sure.
So I would not consider doing it. I would not even tell anybody to do it that way. I don't think it's a safe way of doing it. So I would not do it.
If you suffer with arthritis, you don't want to be doing. You don't want to be constricting your circulation at all. I wouldn't say. I'd rather.
No, exactly.
I'd rather go to A&E or.
Yeah, or go to a jeweller's who will cut it off properly.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the proper thing to do. Yeah.
Oh. Hope you're okay, Janet.
Yeah, I hope so. Okay, thank you. That's about it, I think, Louise. That's about it for today.
Yes. Yeah. I think it is time to go and get a glass of wine. And we need to think about how we're going to manage these ones. Oh, and Natalia's reminded us about the shell.
What, sorry?
The shell. Natalia's reminded us about the shell. Is it still?
Is this by there?
Still here.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, there we go. So hold it up. It's still there. Natalia, do you know, I would love to stay here all day and all night. I love my work. I'm passionate about my work. I'd happily stay here on work day, and I would love to stay here on work night. But I have a wife.
So I get the blame again. I get the blame again.
I have a wife, and I want to spend some time with her. So I can't spend all day and all night working away on the bench. She wouldn't have it, would you? You wouldn't have it. You wouldn't let me, would you?
I don't know.
No. So yeah, I need to spend some time at home. And I got things. I've still got the shed roof. I still haven't done. We're out of lockdown now. I managed to get my.
You're not going to do it now, are you? Not going to do it now.
Negotia said that you're far better looking than me.
Oh, that's nice.
I would agree with that. Is the shell keeping the Druzy company? Oh, I'm really going to have to spend some time doing all this.
It's the new whiteboard.
It's the new whiteboard. I got the whiteboard up. Come on. Yeah. All right. It is wine time. Thank you, Natalia. It is wine time. We're going to go. I think it's raining out there, but we're going to sit in the summer house now. We're going to go home, have a glass of wine. I think your daughter, Jasmine, she should have cleaned the house for us.
She did say she was going to.
She did, didn't she? Yeah, absolutely. I've asked Matthew if there's been any joy on Orpha's order. He hasn't come back to me just yet, so we're still waiting. As soon as I hear something, Orpha, I will certainly give you a email and let you know what's happening.
So what is happening with the shell? Because you didn't say. You just went, oh gosh.
What are we going to do with it, Louise? What would you recommend we do with it?
Well, we need to raffle it some way, don't we, somehow? That's what we said we were going to do.
Yes.
And we forget about it and we go, oh, the shell! And we come back week after week and that's what we do.
Yeah, so we're going to turn it into a pendant, I think, aren't we?
Yeah, I think so.
I think we're going to turn it into a pendant. Okay, so it's going to be something. I'll tell you what we're going to do. But I can't tell you.
You can't say!
I can't say, can I? But whatever we're going to do it with the shell.
What?
It's content for what we're going to do.
No, it's not.
It is?
Unless I grossly misunderstood the plan.
Shh, Louise, don't say anything. You can't say anything on this. You know what it's like. You keep telling me to keep shh on what we're going to do.
I'm not sure I understand what the plan is anymore.
Well...
Oh, it's done.
Yeah, no, but doing what we're going to do to it...
Oh! Now I know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So there we go. So, no, don't say too much. You said too much already. Far too much already. No, we still can't leave you. We're going to go. We're going to go and have our glass of wine. Thank you, everybody who has stayed on today. The stream health is, yeah, it has gone down a couple of times, hasn't it? The health of the stream's gone down. I don't think we've had too many dropouts today or buffering. Sorry, Ken, totally missed this one. Yeah, have to go back and watch it again. Love the whiteboard, excellent. Think of all the trees you're saving. I know I miss it. I miss my board. So everybody who wants to know about the courses, go here, jewellery.academy or at the bench courses. I still got my bits of papers here. I love my bit of papers. Everyone, take care. Thank you all for joining us today. Join us again next week, 3:30 on the 15th of July. It's the day before my sister and her husband's wedding anniversary. And it would have been my mum and dad's wedding anniversary on the 16th of July. Bless him.
Oh, bless.
So, yeah. Anyway, and we're going to be changing to a Monday or a Tuesday. So I tell you what, when this film has finished rendering on YouTube, come back on, let us know whether you want this question and answer to be taking place on a Monday or a Tuesday, because we won't be able to do Wednesdays anymore. So Monday or a Tuesday, tell us which day is going to be best for you. We'll take everybody into consideration to do our question and answer, but that won't be now until August. I think it is, because Louise is starting work here on the 1st of August. Looking forward to that, spending more...
That's a Saturday.
Is it?
You didn't say anything about Saturday.
No. So when are you starting? When's the 1st of August?
No, I don't mind.
You know, but Louise is...
Just put in your leg.
Yeah, Louise is starting, with us here, working by my side, full-time, August. You are working full-time?
Yeah, I'm working full-time. I'm not working by your side full-time.
No, you're working by my side, no. No, you wouldn't have that. You spend all that time with me? Oh my God, no, not at all. All right, Tatum Orange Rolling Mill. Yes. Is Trismari on then?
What's Ken done to his foot?
I think I broke my foot today. Oh dear, that's not good. Yes, Mike, negotiator. We're going to go. Author, you're welcome. I'll come back to you on that. Congratulations, Louise. Yes, it's going to be good fun. You're more than welcome, Patricia. Thank you. There you are. Trismari. Trismari? I think that's it. Yes. Tatum is the Spanish rolling mill manufacturers that's orange. And they sell primarily in Spain. So it's Tatum. And they're still going. They still sell primarily in Spain. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at? I didn't know you were a couple. Is it? No?
I thought you were just flirting.
So, yes, we're good. Yeah, no. But we do flirt, don't we?
Do we?
With each other, obviously, yeah. We do flirt, don't we? Yes. It's been a bad day, Louise, love, yeah. I didn't know you were a couple. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, married. How long have you been married now? Six months nearly now?
5 months.
5 months, 5.5 months, 22nd of February, wasn't it?
Yeah, well done.
Thank you very much. I shall remember that. I shall remember. Tatum, yeah, Tatum. Yes, it was. That was the maker and the manufacturer of the orange painted rolling mills. Thank you all for coming on. Thank you, 150 of you still here. Thank you. Don't know why you're still here. QE finished the question and answer a long time ago, but we do have something planned that's going to sort of incorporate what we do. Anyway, that's enough of that. The first is Saturday. Yes, sorry. Yeah, it was not. Louise isn't starting Saturday. We're not working Saturdays. First, so it's going to be this 3rd of August is when Louise is going to be starting here full time. Can't wait for that. That's it.
Yeah.
Let's go and get the wine, shall we?
Yeah.
Everyone, take care. Thank you very much for joining us today. We're going to see you again next Wednesday, the 15th of July, same time, 3:30. But come back on. Let us know whether you want it on a Monday or Tuesday, starting in August. We are going to prepare a form. Sorry, you're going to prepare a form, Louise.
Yeah.
That you failed to do. But Louise will put a form, we'll put it into the chat, we'll put it into the bottom of this film, fill it out, let us know Monday or Tuesday, let us know which one you want, and we'll take everyone into consideration. We're going to go have our wine, we're going to go into Summer House and open that now. Everybody have a lovely, lovely week, take care, hope you're all staying safe. We shall see you next week. Say goodbye, Louise.
Goodbye. Have a good week, everybody.
And we will all see you next week. Take care, everybody. You got the sliding position, Louise, ready for this?
No, I never do.
Everyone, take care. See you very